The 10th car on our list is not just rare. It looks like it came straight out of a science fiction movie. Imagine a car so exclusive that only 2 units exist on the entire planet. A hypercar so absurd that even millionaires struggle to get one. We are talking about the incredible Koenigsegg CCXR Trevita. And when you look at it for the first time, you immediately understand that this is not just an automobile. This is a work of art on wheels, a machine created to challenge the limits of engineering, of speed, and of luxury. The name Trevita comes from Swedish and means 3 whites, and this makes total sense when you discover the most impressive secret of this car. Koenigsegg developed a unique technology called diamond weave carbon fiber, a special carbon fiber coated with sparkling particles which make the car look literally covered in diamonds under the sunlight. Yes, you heard that right. This car looks like a giant moving diamond. While most hypercars use traditional black carbon fiber, Koenigsegg decided to create something the world had never seen before. The result was a car that shines in a surreal way, reflecting light in an almost magical mode. Depending on the angle, the Trevita looks silver, metallic white, or even crystalline. It is like driving a piece of jewelry valued at millions of dollars. And speaking of millions, the value of this monster exceeds $4.8 million, a price that places the Trevita among the most expensive cars on the planet. But why would anyone pay so much money for a car? Because the Trevita is not just rare. It represents absolute exclusivity. There are luxury mansions that are easier to find than this car. There are private islands less rare than the Trevita. And it is not just looks. Beneath this futuristic design lies a true land rocket. The Koenigsegg CCXR Trevita is equipped with a 4.8-liter V8 engine with 2 superchargers, capable of producing over 1,000 horsepower. This means this car accelerates in a brutal, violent, almost unbelievable way. From 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in less than 3 seconds. Think about that for a moment. Before you even finish blinking, the Trevita has already disappeared into the horizon. And the top speed? Over 400 kilometers per hour. That is faster than many airplanes during takeoff. But perhaps the most impressive thing is how Koenigsegg managed to combine extreme power with luxury and exclusivity. Because there are many fast cars, but few manage to transform speed into something so elegant, so sophisticated, and so rare. Every detail of the Trevita was designed to impress. The dihedral synchro-helix doors, which open in a futuristic way, the aggressive lines of the bodywork, the handcrafted finish, the minimalist yet absurdly refined interior. Everything about this car screams exclusivity. And when you drive a Trevita, you are not just driving a car. You are piloting something that practically no one on the planet will ever have the chance to touch. And maybe that explains why celebrities, billionaires, and collectors go crazy for cars like this. Because in the world of ultra luxury, it is not enough to just be expensive. You need to be impossible. The Trevita is impossible. Impossible to find. Impossible to ignore. And impossible to forget. Koenigsegg's own history feels like a movie script. The brand was created in Sweden by Christian von Koenigsegg, a man obsessed with the dream of creating the most extraordinary cars in the world. While giants of the automotive industry dominated the market, he decided to challenge Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Bugatti practically by himself. And he succeeded. Today, Koenigsegg is considered one of the most exclusive manufacturers on the planet. Their cars are not made for the masses. They are made for a few. Very few. And the CCXR Trevita is perhaps the perfect definition of that philosophy. The original production was supposed to be 3 units, but manufacturing this special carbon fiber was so complex, so difficult, and so expensive that Koenigsegg decided to produce only 2 cars. 2. That means you have a better chance of finding just any millionaire hypercar on the streets of Dubai than crossing paths with a Trevita. And you know what makes it all even more absurd? Even costing millions, there are people fighting for the chance to own one of these cars. Because for billionaires, certain cars stop being just vehicles. They become status symbols, collector's pieces, historic investments. And the Trevita is exactly that. A rare piece of automotive engineering. A blend of luxury, power, and exclusivity at an almost unbelievable level. Some cars are made for transportation. Others are made for racing. But the Koenigsegg CCXR Trevita was made for eternity. It was not created just to be fast. It was not created just to be beautiful. It was created to be remembered. And honestly, few cars managed to cause as much impact as this Swedish monster covered in diamonds. And that brings us to number 10 on our list of the most expensive cars in the world. But if this level of luxury already seems absurd to you, get ready, because the next cars manage to be even more exclusive, rarer, and much more expensive. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves, because the car occupying number 9 on our list was not just created to be fast, it was created to humiliate practically any other car on the track. A hypercar so aggressive, so rare, and so extreme that it seems to have come straight from the future. But before we reveal all the details of this absurd machine, I want to make you a quick invitation. If you are passionate about luxury cars, millionaire hypercars, extreme speed, and machines that seem impossible, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel right now, and comment down below. Which of these cars would you have in your dream garage? Because believe me, the next cars on this list are going to blow your mind. And now, in the number 9 position of our list of the most expensive cars in the world, we have the monstrous Bugatti Divo.
And honestly, calling this car a car might be an understatement. The Bugatti Divo is practically a weapon on wheels. A machine created to deliver absurd levels of performance, luxury, and exclusivity. While many hypercars try to balance comfort and speed, the Divo simply ignores any limit. It was made to dominate. The name Divo is a tribute to the French driver Albert Divo, a legendary racing driver for Bugatti in the 1920s. And that already shows exactly what the brand's intention was when creating this monster: to build a car with a racing soul. And the result turned out simply terrifying. The first impact happens in the visuals. The Divo looks like an alien car. Every line of the bodywork is aggressive. Every detail was designed with extreme aerodynamics in mind. The giant air intakes, the colossal rear spoiler, the futuristic curves, everything about it transmits speed. Even standing still, it looks like it is racing. But the real terror begins when you look at what lies beneath the hood. The Bugatti Divo uses Bugatti's legendary 8.0-liter quad-turbo W16 engine. And this engine produces an unbelievable 1,500 horsepower. Yes, 1,500 horsepower. That is enough power to destroy practically any ordinary car in a matter of seconds. The Divo accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in about 2.4 seconds. Did you understand that? In less than 3 seconds, this monster has already reached speeds that many regular cars can barely achieve after several seconds of maximum acceleration. And the top speed exceeds 380 kilometers per hour. But you know what the most impressive thing is? Bugatti could have made this car even faster. Much faster. Except the goal of the Divo was not just straight-line speed. The goal was to create a machine that was more aggressive in corners, more precise, and more brutal on tracks. That is why the Divo is lighter than the Chiron, features a recalibrated suspension, much more advanced aerodynamics, and an absurd level of grip. In practice, it glues to the ground. It is as if the car challenges physics itself. And maybe that is exactly what makes the Bugatti Divo so special. Because it was not just created for millionaires to buy. It was created to impress the world. And it does. The value of this machine exceeds $5 million, a price that seems completely absurd. But when you understand what this car represents, everything begins to make sense. The Bugatti Divo is not mass-produced. Quite the opposite. Only 40 units were manufactured in the entire world. 40. That means there are entire cities where no one will ever see a Divo in person. And of course, exclusivity comes with a heavy price. Extremely heavy. Every detail of the car is practically handcrafted. The materials used are among the most sophisticated in the automotive world. Carbon fiber everywhere. Impeccable finish, cutting-edge technology, extreme engineering. Stepping inside a Divo is like entering the cockpit of a supersonic jet. Everything feels futuristic. The steering wheel, the seats, the dashboards, the lights, the roar of the engine. In fact, the sound of this car is a show of its own. When the W16 engine wakes up, it feels like a monster has been unleashed. The roar is deep, aggressive, and intimidating. No matter where the Divo is, it steals all the attention.
And maybe that is exactly what the owners of these cars are looking for. Because no one buys a Bugatti Divo just to go to the supermarket. This car is a symbol of power, a symbol of status, a symbol of absolute exclusivity. And the owners know it. Billionaires from all over the world fought for the few available units. And the most impressive part? All 40 units were sold before production even finished. In other words, there were more millionaires wanting to buy the Divo than cars available. And honestly, it is easy to understand why. The Bugatti Divo looks like a video game concept turned into reality. It blends extreme luxury, absurd engineering, and a design so aggressive that it seems impossible for something like this to legally exist on the streets. When you see this car passing by, you are not just seeing an automobile. You are seeing a demonstration of wealth, technology, and an obsession with perfection. And this is only number 9 on our list.
And now, we reach the top 8 of our list of the most expensive and exclusive cars on the planet. And the car appearing in this position doesn't just look like a luxury machine. It looks like a moving sculpture. A work of art created for millionaires who find Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Bugatti too common. We are talking about the unbelievable Pagani Huayra Codalunga. But before we dive into this surreal hypercar, do the following right now. Leave a like on this video because that helps the channel a lot to keep bringing insane content like this. And of course, subscribe so you don't miss the next episodes of this list, because the cars that are still to appear here manage to be even more absurd. And comment down below, would you have the courage to drive $1 million car through the streets normally? Or would you be afraid to even park it? Now, prepare yourselves, because the Pagani Huayra Codalunga is not just an expensive car. It is practically an automotive jewel. When you look at this car for the first time, you immediately understand that it is different from anything ever created. The design looks like a mix of a spaceship and classic Italian art. Every curve of the bodywork was designed with an almost obsessive level of perfection. And this doesn't happen by chance. Pagani never wanted to manufacture ordinary cars. From the very beginning, the Italian brand always had a very clear goal: to create the most emotional, exclusive, and artistically perfect hypercars in the world. And perhaps no model represents this as well as the Huayra Codalunga. The name Codalunga literally means long tail in Italian, and you just have to look at the rear of the car to understand why. The elongated design is inspired by the legendary racing cars of the 1960s, those classic prototypes that dominated tracks like Le Mans. But here, everything has been elevated to an absurd level of luxury and technology. The Huayra Codalunga looks elegant, aggressive, and futuristic at the same time. It is as if the past and the future met to create something completely unique. And exclusivity is precisely one of the words that define this car. Pagani produced only 5 units of the Huayra Codalunga on the entire planet. 5. You will probably see a private jet before you ever encounter one of these in person. And of course, this extreme rarity helps explain the completely surreal value of this hypercar. The price exceeds $7 million. That's right, over $7 million for a single car. A value so absurd that many people can't even imagine what it's like to spend that much on an automobile. But the Huayra Codalunga is not just bought for money. It is bought for status, for exclusivity, for emotion. Because whoever buys a Pagani like this doesn't just want speed. They want to possess something that practically no one else on the planet will ever have. And honestly, this car delivers exactly that. Beneath the bodywork lies a true mechanical monster. The Huayra Codalunga uses a twin-turbo V12 engine developed by Mercedes-AMG, capable of producing over 840 horsepower. And the result is simply brutal. The car accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in about 2.8 seconds. It is an acceleration so violent that it seems to challenge the human body itself. When the driver steps on the gas, it doesn't feel like the car is moving. It feels like it was launched. And the sound of this engine is something almost emotional. Unlike many modern cars that try to seem sophisticated and quiet, Pagani makes sure to be dramatic. The roar of the V12 echoes like a crazy mechanical orchestra. It is loud, aggressive, and addictive. Every gear shift feels like an explosion. Every acceleration feels like a show. But perhaps the most impressive detail is the handcrafted care present in absolutely everything. The seats are made by hand. The finishes look like jewelry. The interior details resemble million-dollar Swiss watches. The polished metals shine like museum pieces. Stepping inside the Huayra Codalunga is like entering a mix of an airplane cockpit and a luxury art gallery. And this happens because Horacio Pagani, founder of the brand, always believed that a hypercar should be much more than fast. It should evoke emotion. And the Codalunga does. Because of this, Pagani cars are treated almost like collectible works of art. Many owners don't even use their cars regularly. They leave these machines in millionaire private collections, climate-controlled and protected like historic treasures. The Pagani Huayra Codalunga seems impossible. Impossible to copy, impossible to ignore, and impossible to forget. And all of this is only the top 8 of our list, because the next cars manage to be even rarer, more exclusive, and much more expensive. So get ready, because the next level of this ranking will go beyond any notion of reality. And now, we reach the top 7 of our list of the most expensive, luxurious, and exclusive cars on the planet. But the car appearing in this position doesn't just look like an ordinary hypercar. It looks like a villain on wheels. A machine so intimidating, so elegant, and so absurd
that even today, many people believe it looks like it came straight out of a Batman movie. We're talking about the legendary Mercedes-Maybach Excelero. But before we dive into this million-dollar masterpiece, take the opportunity to support the channel. Leave a like right now, because that helps YouTube a lot to recommend this video to more fans of extreme cars. And of course, subscribe, because the next cars on this list will surpass any notion of luxury you have ever seen.
And comment down below, which of these cars would you have the courage to drive every single day? Now, prepare yourselves, because the Excelero was not just created to be beautiful, it was created to impress the entire planet. And honestly, it succeeded. When the Mercedes-Maybach Excelero appeared for the first time, the automotive world simply stopped to look. Because nobody expected Mercedes-Maybach to create something so aggressive, so luxurious, and so surreal at the same time. The look of this car seems impossible. The long and monstrous bodywork, the intimidating front end, the giant wheels, the elegant curves mixed with aggressive lines, everything about it transmits absolute power.
The Excelero does not enter any place discreetly. It dominates the room. And perhaps the most absurd detail is that this car is one of a kind. Yes, only one unit of the Mercedes-Maybach Excelero exists on the entire planet. One. That means you will probably see dozens of Ferraris and Lamborghinis in your life before you ever get close to this car. And precisely for that reason, its value exceeds $8 million. A completely absurd value. But when you understand the history of this car, everything begins to make sense. The Excelero was originally created in partnership with Fulda, a tire manufacturer from Germany. The mission was simple and completely insane: to build an extremely luxurious and absurdly powerful car to test high-performance tires at extreme speeds. But Mercedes didn't want to just make a fast car. They wanted to create a legend. And that is exactly what happened. Beneath this terrifying look lies a twin-turbo V12 engine with over 700 horsepower, a true mechanical monster. And the most impressive thing is that this gigantic car manages to exceed 350 kilometers per hour. Think about that for a second. A huge, luxurious, heavy, and extremely sophisticated car, accelerating like a rocket. It is like mixing the comfort of a $1 million limousine with the brutality of a racing hypercar. And the result turned out simply unbelievable. The Excelero accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in about 4 seconds, which is terrifying for a car of this size. But honestly, the numbers tell only part of the story, because the real impact of the Excelero lies in the absurd presence it transmits. This car looks powerful even standing still. The glossy black of the bodywork, the giant air intakes, the endless hood, the muscular rear. Everything about it makes it look like we are staring at a futuristic concept that should have never left the drawings. But it did, and it became one of the most famous and mysterious cars on the planet. And you know what makes everything even more impressive? The interior. Because while the outside looks like an intimidating machine built to dominate roads, the interior looks like a 5-star hotel on wheels. The seats are upholstered in premium handcrafted leather. The finishes look handmade by jewelers. The dashboard blends classic luxury with futuristic technology. Everything was designed to convey absolute exclusivity. Stepping inside the Excelero doesn't feel like getting into a car. It feels like entering a high-tech, $1 million vault. And perhaps that is exactly what makes this model so special. Because many cars can be fast, others can be luxurious, some can be rare, But few manage to combine all of this in such an extreme way as the Exalero. It is a combination so unique that even today, the Exalero keeps looking like a car from the future. And precisely because only one unit exists, it became practically unattainable. Any millionaire can buy a Ferrari. Many can buy a Bugatti. But practically nobody can buy an Exalero because it is simply not available. The Mercedes Maybach Exalero is impossible. Impossible to ignore, impossible to replace, and impossible to forget.
And now, we reach the top 6 of our list of the most expensive and exclusive cars on the planet. From this point on, things enter a completely surreal level. The car in this position was created to honor an automotive legend, the famous Bugatti EB110 from the 1990s. We're talking about the unbelievable Bugatti 110. But before we dive into this masterpiece, leave a like right now and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next episodes. And comment down below, if you could choose just one of these cars to drive for a single day, which one would it be? Now, prepare yourselves. The name 110 means 110 in Italian. This hypercar shows what happens when extreme engineering, absolute luxury, and an obsession with perfection meet. Bugatti produced only 10 units of the 110 on the entire planet. 10! Because it is so rare, the price reaches completely unbelievable levels. The Bugatti 110 costs around $9 million, which makes it an absolute symbol of status and power. Beneath the futuristic bodywork lies a monstrous 8.0-liter quad-turbo W16 engine, producing an incredible 1,600 horsepower. The 110 accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in approximately 2.4 seconds. It is so fast that it seems to challenge human logic, and its top speed exceeds 380 kilometers per hour. Inside, it looks like a luxury spaceship cockpit with premium leather, carbon fiber, and cutting-edge technology. All 10 units were sold instantly to billionaires before production even finished. It is a mechanical work of art created to redefine the limits of human engineering. And this is only number 6. Get ready, because the next level of this ranking goes beyond reality. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we officially reach the top 5 of our list of the most expensive, rare, and insane cars on the planet. From this point on, we leave the world of hypercars behind and enter a completely different territory. We are talking about the unbelievable SP Automotive Chaos. But before we reveal everything, leave a like right now and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next episodes. And comment down below, would you have the courage to drive a car with more than 3,000 horsepower? Because yes, that is not a mistake. The Chaos is a Greek ultra car built to challenge giants like Bugatti and Koenigsegg. Its design looks like a futuristic video game spaceship with an aggressive front and a space-age rear. Beneath this bodywork lies an absurd twin-turbo V10 engine capable of producing over 3,000 horsepower. 3,000! The acceleration is so extreme that it seems fake. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in less than 2 seconds, and the estimated top speed exceeds 500 kilometers per hour. The price for this machine exceeds $14 million, which is close to 80 million reals, a value so absurd that it seems surreal, even for billionaires. This high price is because the Chaos uses space-age technology, including 3D printed components made of aerospace materials, advanced carbon fiber, and titanium. Inside, the cockpit feels like a supersonic jet from the year 2100, completely minimalist and high-tech. The Chaos doesn't just sell speed, it sells absolute exclusivity. It is a machine created for people who want to possess the impossible.
it is the perfect number 5 for our list. But get ready, because the next level of this ranking enters a territory reserved only for the most exclusive machines in human history. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we officially reach the top 4 of our list of the most expensive, rare, and absurdly exclusive cars on the planet. From this point on, we are no longer just talking about cars. We are talking about millionaire works of art on wheels. We are talking about the unbelievable Pagani Zonda HP Barchetta. But before we dive into this surreal machine, leave a like right now and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next episodes. And comment down below, would you have the courage to drive a car worth tens of millions through the streets normally? Now, prepare yourselves. The Zonda HP Barchetta looks like a moving sculpture. The term Barchetta represents open-top sports cars built to provide a visceral driving experience. It was not created just for speed. It was created for absolute emotion. Pagani produced only 3 units of this hypercar on the entire planet. 3!
Because it is so rare, the value of the Zonda HP Barchetta exceeds an incredible $17 million, which is close to 100 million reals. It is a modern relic of automotive engineering. Beneath this futuristic bodywork lies a monstrous, naturally aspirated V12 engine developed by Mercedes-AMG, producing over 780 horsepower. And unlike modern hybrid cars, this Zonda is wild. The roar of the V12 engine is deep, metallic, and brutal, sounding like a mechanical orchestra. Driving it feels completely cinematic, combining art and science perfectly, just as its creator Horacio Pagani intended. In the universe of the ultra-rich, owning a car like this means entering an exclusive, unreachable club. It is absolute status at its highest level. And this is only number 4. Get ready, because the top 3 officially enters the territory of the most unbelievable machines in automotive history.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we officially reach the top 3 of our list of the most expensive, rare, and unbelievable cars on the planet. From this point on, we are no longer just talking about hypercars, we are talking about legends. We are talking about the absolutely surreal Bugatti La Voiture Noire. But before we reveal why this car costs an unimaginable fortune, leave a like right now and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the final 2 episodes. And comment down below, if you had infinite money, which car from this list would be the first one in your garage? Now, prepare yourselves. The name La Voiture Noire means the black car in French. This hypercar was created as a direct tribute to the legendary Bugatti Type 57 SC Atlantic, a lost masterpiece that disappeared during World War II and was never found again. Bugatti produced only 1 single unit of this car on the entire planet. 1. Because it is literally one of a kind, the price enters a completely surreal territory. The Bugatti La Voiture Noire costs approximately $18 million, which is close to 100 million reals. The entire bodywork is sculpted in glossy black carbon fiber with fluid curves and an incredible rear, featuring 6 exhaust pipes aligned in the center. Beneath this futuristic design lies Bugatti's legendary 8.0-liter quad-turbo W16 engine, producing over 1,500 horsepower. It accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in approximately 2.4 seconds, and its top speed exceeds 420 kilometers per hour. Inside, it looks like a millionaire private jet cockpit with handcrafted premium leather and polished aluminum finishes. It is a modern legend built to be eternal. And this is only number 3. Get ready, because the top 2 is so absurd that it seems built for billionaires from another planet. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we officially reached the top 2 of our list of the most expensive, luxurious, and exclusive cars on the planet. The car appearing in this position seems to have been created for royalty, a machine that completely redefines the meaning of luxury. We are talking about the unbelievable Rolls-Royce boat tail. But before we reveal everything, leave a like right now and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the final top 1 video. And comment down below, if you were a billionaire, would you buy a car like this? Now, prepare yourselves. The boat tail looks like a luxury yacht transformed into an automobile, inspired by the classic millionaire boats of the 1920s. It does not try to attract attention through brutal speed. It attracts attention through the sophisticated silence of extreme wealth. Rolls-Royce produced only 3 units of the boat tail on the entire planet. 3. Because it is so rare, the price of this car exceeds an incredible $28 million, which is close to 150 million reals. Each boat tail was custom made for its owner, allowing absolute personalization of every detail. But the most absurd feature is the rear deck, which opens automatically like giant wings to reveal a hidden hosting suite. Inside, it features a high-end picnic set, crystal glasses, beverage refrigerators, automatic tables, and even an elegant parasol, like a 5-star restaurant hidden inside the car. Beneath the hood lies a powerful twin-turbo V12 engine that glides smoothly and silently, making the car feel like it is floating. It is a masterpiece on wheels and a definitive statement of absolute wealth. And this is only number 2. Get ready, because the top 1 car on our list goes beyond anything imaginable. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, we officially reached the top 1 of our list of the most expensive, luxurious, and exclusive cars on the planet. The car in first place is not just an automobile, it is a living work of art. A creation so sophisticated and so absurdly expensive that it feels made for royalty from another planet. We are talking about the unbelievable Rolls-Royce Le Rose Noir Droptail. But before we reveal why this car costs an unimaginable fortune, leave a like right now and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next series. And comment down below, if you could drive any car from this list for just a single day, which one would you choose? Now, prepare yourselves. The name Le Rose Noir means the black rose in French, inspired by the rare black Baccarat rose. Its paint is mesmerizing. Depending on the light angle, the bodywork shifts from a deep black to rich dark red tones. Rolls-Royce will produce only 4 units on the entire planet. 4. Because it is so ultra-exclusive, the value goes beyond reality. The Rolls-Royce Le Rose Noir Droptail costs over $30 million, which is close to 170 million reals. It is a handcrafted masterpiece that took years to develop. The interior feels like a millionaire art gallery, featuring thousands of hand-assembled wood pieces creating a sophisticated pattern. But the detail that elevates this car to another level is the dashboard clock, which can be removed and worn as a luxury wristwatch, a unique piece created by the legendary Swiss brand Audemars Piguet. Beneath the hood lies a powerful, refined twin-turbo V12 engine that glides smoothly and silently, making the car feel like it is floating. While other hypercars try to impress with speed, the Le Rose Noir impresses with absolute sophistication. It doesn't scream, it whispers wealth. It is the absolute pinnacle of automotive luxury and the perfect number 1 for our list.